So I'm Amanda, and I am aboard with my new friend Margot aboard her boat. And what boat do you have, Margot?
Our boat is named Favignana.
Favignana? Italian?
Well, Italian name, but
Italian
German
name?
boat.
Okay, Italian name. And what kind of boat is your boat?
It's a Bavaria 38
Bavaria
Ocean.
38 Ocean.
So it's a center cockpit.
Center cockpit. And how long have you had your boat?
About a year and a half. We're pretty new.
New to sailing?
New to sailing, new to our boat, new to boat life, new to everything.
And what got you inspired for boat life?
Well, moving to a boat was really Elliot's idea.
Elliot's over here.
Elliot's over there. Sorry.
Hi, Elliot.
Hi.
Great. It was his idea.
It was his idea. We named our boat Favignana after a little island called Favignana, which is off the coast of Sicily. We were traveling there, and the whole place was surrounded by sailboats and Italian tourists, and but in like a really laid back, only Italian tourist kind of way. And we had a really, really nice trip there, and we kind of were looking out, and Elliot was like, "That's the way to do it. That we should get a boat and travel." And so that was a while ago. And then fast forward.
And here you are in Friday Harbour. What
we
brings you to the Pacific Northwest from Italy? Or where were you before?
We were in Portland. We were living in Portland.
All right, cool.
We bought our boat. We bought it in Seattle and then moved it down to Olympia because while we were still living in Portland, it was easier for us to get back and forth to Olympia. We would come up probably twice a month to either come just stay on the boat or take it out. And then we both decided that to take a break from our jobs, and we're planning on leaving next year to go on a extended travel. So in the process, when we were trying, with the marina we had our boat at did not offer liveaboards, so we basically just did a little research, and we had been to Friday Harbor. I came here on a family vacation when I was little, and then we also came here when we were taking sailing lessons a couple years ago, and we really liked it here, and so we put our name on the list, and they had a spot for us. So
here you are.
Here we are.
Welcome, Friday Harbour. How do you find cooking aboard? What kind of cook are you as far as galley goes?
Well, I don't know the different types, but I'm a pretty adventurous cook.
Yes.
But I've been finding it very challenging to adjust to some of the limitations on the boat. The main one is that our oven really just has one temperature, which I call on.
Okay. Is it gas?
And it is, yeah.
Gas oven, so it's
Yeah.
down there on the walkthrough. We'll give you a walkthrough on it, jump
Yeah.
and pan down. So you go down there and have it show us that your
Our-
gas oven. Ah, cool.
Yep, so this is the original oven that came with the boat. I mean, it just says Bavaria Yachts, but I don't.
And you've got a two-top burner.
We have a two-top burner. There was a really long time where only one burner would work at a time, and we kept opening it up and fiddling with it, and then magically the other burner would work and the other one would not work. And so it took a little while, but for the last couple months, both burners have been working. So it's been
Great.
kind of magical.
Double sinks.
Double
You
sink.
can see out the windows.
Can see out the windows.
Fridge or freezer here.
When I was filling out your questionnaire, one of the things that really bothers me though is if it's raining at all, I have these open to vent, and
Right.
then I also have water dripping in,
Yep.
dripping either into like what I'm cutting or onto what. Even if I open this one, somehow water gets through onto the stove. So we've been talking about maybe some winter ways of shielding it from the top so that doesn't happen, because this little porthole doesn't really give as
There's
much.
a side porthole there, and it doesn't get much air.
Ventilation.
So you just find it gets hot cooking or smells.
Yeah, well, it took us a really long. I don't know if I should admit this on video, but we had to take out all the batteries from our fire alarm because we were just setting off the fire alarm for any time we were cooking anything with even steam. So.
Alright, so fire alarms. You got a fire blanket there in case you do catch the curtains on
Yes.
fire.
We also use a fire extinguisher. I actually have two within very easy distance
Good.
of
So
the
that's
kitchen.
important.
And I do think one of our fire alarms is still functioning right now. But yeah, this one was just so sensitive that anytime, I mean, it wasn't even close to a smoke situation, and it would start going off.
Two things you like in the galley. What are they? Fridge, freezer, or just cupboard space, lighting?
I feel like everything I'm just getting used to. I don't have much to compare it to. I do like having the 2 sinks.
So Margot, tell us about the recipes that you included in the Galley article.
Well, I included a couple recipes. One, I included a blackberry cobbler recipe, which is very simple. And I included that because we made an excellent blackberry cobbler last summer when we were on our trip around Vancouver Island.
Wow. So you went around Vancouver Island.
Yeah, we did that last summer. We took it very slow. We took 2 months.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And so lots of blackberries. Did you catch any fish? Is there
We
a
did
fish
not
recipe?
catch any fish.
Okay.
Yeah, we didn't. We didn't really have the right equipment to do any fishing, which was a big bummer. And that's something we would like to figure out for the next time we go out.
So Margot, what's in your cupboards?
Ooh, a little of everything. We have a lot of coffee and a lot of different ways of making coffee. We usually go with classic
filter, yes.
Melita. Now,
This is
sometimes Ellie gets fancy and does the AeroPress.
What's
and
that
then
green thing?
This green thing is our spices. So at first we had our spices all over the place, and when we took them out, we would have the whole counter full of spices. And I mean, when you're underway, that just isn't really a good idea. So we put them in this thing, so now we can take them out.
Ta-da!
They're all contained. Even if it gets messy in here, it doesn't really matter because they're still contained. And then we can put them back and see everything. So that helps a lot.
And all your bread starting stuff.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. And then this looks a little messy, but the fact of the matter is the more packed in it is, then the less things move around. So. We have, down below, we have backups for a lot of food. But all of the opened grains are up here. And
Great, thanks.
Yep. All right, this is my fridge. It is a top-loading fridge. We have an external temperature gauge so that we can see what it's doing inside, because it kind of has a life of its own. Sometimes we'll look over and it'll be way too hot, and then we went through a phase where it was running constantly for no good reason. Trying to figure that out still. It is a work in progress as far as organization goes. We've added some bins, and that's helped a lot, and eventually we'd like to add a divider so that we can keep some things colder and some things less cold.
Yeah, another recipe that you included?
I included a recipe. Well, so I've been making a lot of bread on board.
Whoa, serious?
I somewhere in the middle kind of got on this wild kick of doing a sourdough starter, which doesn't always go great with being on a boat, but it's been really fun to.
Have you named your sourdough starter?
Oh yeah, well so once you have a sourdough starter, all of a sudden you end up with all these. I ended up with 3 sourdough starters at a certain point. They all have names. Right now, the one I have is called Honey I Love You. It's a starter that I used a little honey at its base. But yeah, so one of the recipes I included, which was very long, so I don't know how it'll.
No, we'll put it in there.
Okay.
This is on the bake. It can be as long as we like.
One day we decided to make some bread. We split the loaf into multiple pieces and we made sandwich rolls, and then we had homemade meatball subs, and they were super delicious with the bread right out of the oven.
Yeah.
And meatballs. And then the other thing that we've been making so much of on the boat is polenta-based dishes.
Right, that's something new for me, so I look forward to checking it out.
Yeah, yeah. So we don't have it. We eat it right away. So I mean, it does keep. I ate polenta before, but it wasn't until being on the boat that it really made a lot of sense. You can make it really, really quickly. You in the store you see those logs of polenta,
right?
But once you start buying it in bulk and seeing how easy it is to make, buying those logs seems ridiculous and costly. And it takes, you literally get the water boiling and you add it in. I whisk it while I'm adding it in so it doesn't clump, and it's ready. I mean, I put it on low heat for just a little bit after that, but it's basically ready to go. And then you can have it hot. You can have it with breakfast. Like, it's really good with like bacon and eggs, but then you can also have it with dinner with practically anything, vegetables, meat.
All right, looks like I'll be adding polenta to our expeditions. Well, thanks so much,
Yeah.
Margot. Great to meet you, and see you at the boat show.
Yep.
Cheers.